I think Jake Paul is crazy enough to fight Anthony Joshua because the money would be absolutely obscene. It's a catastrophic mismatch that people would tune in to watch because it would lead to the end of Jake Paul.
Like this, by the way,
I don't like it.
No, I don't like it either. But the way that Joshua will see it is as a money grab. He'll see it as an easy money grab. But at this stage of his career, is it a fight he should be taking? Nah.
Who finally put an end to this Jake Paul thing, right? If he goes out there and puts Jake Paul in the dirt, he's going to be heralded. He's going to be a hero.
Eddie Hearn recently shared his thoughts on Jake Paul's decision to pursue a fight with Anthony Joshua, and his reaction was anything but positive. The Matchroom promoter didn't hold back, warning that Jake Paul is making the biggest mistake of his career by even considering a matchup with the former unified heavyweight champion. According to Hearn, this fight is not just another money grab or Netflix spectacle. It's a career-ending move that could bring Paul's boxing journey to an abrupt stop. He insists that Joshua's power, experience, and sheer physical dominance would leave Paul completely overwhelmed, emphasizing that this matchup crosses a dangerous boundary between entertainment and basic survival inside the ring.
Well, Anthony Joshua 50-50 fight. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I just said in another interview, great if it is. I mean, if it is, then you've got no problem seeing it. But when AJ, I mean, decapitates a strong word, but you know, when he renders Jake Paul unconscious like he did to Francis Ngannou, don't then say, oh, well, it was Jake Paul. Do you know what I mean? I mean, when AJ beat Francis Ngannou, Ngannou just had a fight that could have gone either way with Tyson Fury. Then AJ Polaked him, and everyone just said he's just an MMA fighter. You know what I mean? Jake Paul's not Francis Ngannou. But as I said before, if you want to see Jake Paul exit the boxing world,
Reports indicate that Jake Paul is in the final stages of negotiating a heavyweight showdown with Anthony Joshua, scheduled for next month in Miami and set to stream worldwide on Netflix. The proposed fight would be a massive leap for Paul, who has mostly faced non-traditional high-level opponents. While Joshua is a former two-time unified heavyweight champion who last competed in September 2024, Eddie Hearn confirmed that his team has been seriously exploring the idea. Although the matchup was originally intended for a later date, the cancellation of Paul's fight with Gervonta Tank Davis could accelerate the plans. Hearn noted, however, that discussions are still in the exploratory stage with no final agreement in place. He acknowledged that the window for a high-profile Paul versus Joshua fight may open sooner due to the schedule shift, but stressed that Joshua's main focus remains a path back to the heavyweight title or a potential clash with Tyson Fury. While he admitted the Paul fight is possible, Hearn made it clear it is not the priority, emphasizing that Joshua's team is focused on rebuilding his championship run rather than staging a spectacle.
conversations with myself and Nikisa, I think Jake and AJ have spoke as well. You know, from our point of view, if we're going to have a run-out fight, why not run out against Jake Paul, you know, for a lot of money? So there's ongoing conversations there. I can't tell you it's close. I can't tell you we've seen a contract, but if he genuinely wants to fight Anthony Joshua, I don't see why we wouldn't have a chance to do that fight. But, you know, our focus is on really a charge for the World Heavyweight Championship and a charge at Tyson Fury. We can't control that either. So, like I said, that's why I said to you, absolutely at the
Hearn further expanded on his concerns about a possible Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua bout, warning that the fight would be far more dangerous than the public realizes. He argued that the matchup is severely mismatched, pointing out the massive gap in size, experience, and punching power between the two fighters. Hearn emphasized that the danger isn't hypothetical. It's very real, suggesting the fight could seriously damage Paul's career, or even end it altogether. In his view, the risk to Paul's health and long-term reputation is so significant that even with major commercial appeal, the idea must be approached with extreme caution.
Hey, James, quickly, I watched Jake Paul the weekend. I feel a bit dirty saying that because I'm not a fan of his, but he did say after the fight that he's sort of having DMs or he's dropping text messages to AJ. They're having a chat about a potential fight. What's your view on that, Eddie?
Well, look, he's calling out Gervonta Davis, who is a 135-pound lightweight, and he's calling out Anthony Joshua, that's a heavyweight monster. I think Jake Paul is crazy enough to fight Anthony Joshua because the money would be absolutely obscene. It's a catastrophic mismatch that people would tune in to watch because it would lead to the end of Jake Paul. Hopefully not literally, but it's that dangerous that, you know, it's a fight that I don't think should really happen, if I'm honest. I would say about Jake Paul, and I've said this in a couple of interviews today, I do think you start after giving him a margin of respect. You know, I think this guy is going through the motions. He's putting the hard spars in. He just went 10 rounds with, yes, a washed-up fighter, but a former world champion that did train for that fight. But they're very clever in terms of the opponents that they pick. They're not going to gamble unless the money's out of control. And it wouldn't surprise me if Jake Paul, like, wanted to move forward with an Anthony Joshua fight. Honestly, AJ's coming tonight. He's not exactly looking at Jake Paul going, oh, that's my dream opponent. Would he go in there and give him a hiding for, you know, a massive chunk of money? Probably.
Copiner of the ring recently raised strong concerns about a potential Jake Paul vs. Anthony Joshua fight, suggesting that Paul is pursuing the matchup mainly for the huge payday, rather than sporting legitimacy. According to Copiner, the deal is an advanced discussion but still faces major broadcast and sanctioning hurdles. He highlighted that Joshua is a massive step up in size, experience, and knockout power, implying that the mismatch raises genuine safety issues. While the fight might still move forward due to its commercial impact, Copiner's reporting makes it clear that the risks to Paul's credibility and personal safety are enormous. It also remains unconfirmed whether the bout would be classified as a professional fight or an exhibition, as no official sanctioning details, rules, or regulatory guidelines have been publicly finalized.
Story on Ring Magazine, Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul are finalizing a deal for a heavyweight fight on Netflix in December in Miami. Sources tell the Ring Magazine's Mike Coppinger. What do you make of that?
Well, Anthony Joshua is talking about wanting warm-up fights before going into bigger fights, but look, it's prize fighting at the end of the day, and the way that Joshua will see it and Matchroom and all the team, the fans won't like this, by the way.
I don't like it.
No,
either.
I don't like it either. But the way that Joshua will see it is as a money grab. He'll see it as an easy money grab, but at this stage of his career, is it a fight he should be taking? Nah, definitely not.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be licensed because it's a really dangerous fight.
Do we know if it's an exhibition or a real fight?
We don't know yet, but I don't think they should be allowing Anthony Joshua in a ring with Jake Paul. It's dangerous for him.
It can't be a real fight, because if it's a real fight, Anthony Joshua would take Jake Paul's head clean off. So it can't be a real fight.
Well, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah,
I don't want to see a man decapitated in Miami in a ring in December.
Listen, and that's what will happen. So,
many veteran boxing figures have flat out condemned the idea altogether. Heavyweight warhorse Derek Chisora has fiercely criticized the possibility of Jake Paul receiving a WBC ranking, calling it an insult to the sport and a mockery of the fighters who dedicated their lives to earning their positions.
You've said they're going to give a cruiserweight ranking to the winner of this fight. Do you think they deserve one?
No, I don't think so. I don't know why. It's hard enough for real athletes, for real boxers to get those rankings, and then suddenly this Solomon Souza decides to give double ranking because he's getting some greens in his, in his back pocket. No, that is.
Boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. offered a surprisingly straightforward take on the fight. While he admitted that the matchup could happen if Joshua truly wanted it, he stressed that it must make sense for Joshua both competitively and financially. Calling Joshua a legitimate former world champion, Jones didn't hesitate to say, "Did you see what Anthony Joshua did to Francis Ngannou? The same thing happens to Jake Paul. If you think someone who isn't even a full-time boxer can beat Anthony Joshua, then you're crazy."
Change subjects just a little bit here, and Anthony Joshua, there's rumors circulating he could be fighting Jake Paul next. One, do you think it's good for boxing? And two, do you think the fight will happen?
I think it's great for boxing. I think the fight will happen. AJ is 1-0 against these guys that come in to these boxing careers late. So why not? He's a perfect guy to take him out too. He took Ngannou out. Why would he not take Jake Paul out? And for him, he probably make more money fighting Jake Paul than we'll fight anybody else that he can fight right now. So why would he not do it? I mean, not that he needs the money right now anyway, but if he's going to do something, if you want to get a good win to put him back on the scene, that's a perfect win. You get a lot of money doing it.
Will Jake Paul become a world champion?
No.
Why?
I think if they make him fight tough opponents, guys with experience, those guys will beat him. Now, if you catch somebody like myself at the end of their career, or somebody like Tyson, he caught at the end of their career, the chances are much higher. Because now it becomes more of a 50-50. You got a guy who's better than him, but the age factor. You understand me? And that's the only way to balance it for him to make it a 50-50 fight. Somebody who's on his level at the same age, those guys have too much experience.
Yeah.
You understand me? So he's not gonna beat those guys. But you find a guy who is past his prime, who has a mentality further than his, but past their prime, it kind of evens the stakes.
Leon Edwards has also weighed in on the possible Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua matchup, making it clear he supports Joshua without hesitation. In an interview covered by MMA Fighting, Edwards explained that the fight is overwhelmingly in Joshua's favor, and that Paul would be stepping into a challenge far beyond anything he has faced before. While the bout remains unconfirmed, Edwards' comments strengthen the widespread belief that the fight would be a major mismatch, based on experience, skill, and status in the boxing world.
If you've seen this fight's in the works, Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul, as a Brit, how do you evaluate?
Just in that, someone just told me about that. That's mad. Fair play to Jake Paul, first of all, for taking it. But if AJ doesn't knock him out in like 1-2 rounds, then I feel like the fight must be fixed or something, because I'm going to Anthony Joshua, obviously, for the KO. So yeah, when is it, you know?
It's going to be next month they're working towards.
Oh yeah, sick. Yeah, I'm going AJ for the win.
Cheers.